first of all, the first time I got raped,
Oh God.
I look like I'm coming from church. Yeah, I can talk about it now. Honestly, it took a while to be able to say that without flinching.
Oh.
And this was somebody I trusted. It's not it wasn't strangers who hurt me. This is somebody I trusted. So I was just coming in the music business. And I was coming from the country, moved to Kingston. I was brought to my sister's house first as a babysitter for her daughter, my niece. And in the process of babysitting, she ended up sending me to fashion design school in Halfway Tree in Kingston. And I would go to school in the morning. I dropped my niece at her school, and then I go to my school 3 days a week, and then I go back to my niece's school and wait until her school is over, and then I bring her home. And I started on the mornings that I didn't have school, because it was only three days per week school. I started searching around for a studio to go to. This is when I was just trying to break into the industry. And I found one at the top of Maxfield Avenue in Kingston, near Halfway Tree. New Name Music, Kester Brown Studio. Miss Dawn Henry was there at the time. And I started going there. Now, there was one artist there. Now, at the time, there were 3 big artists, really huge artists in Jamaica. Shabba Ranks was the king. Patra was the queen. She was next to Shabba. And then there was another guy next in line. And he became my mentor.
Uh-huh.
He became my mentor, and he used to call me his little sister, and I believed it. I really believed it. So at one point, when I turned 17, my big sister, who I was living with, said she didn't realize I was that young. She thought I was like turning 20 or something. So turning 17 meant I couldn't go to the studio anymore. I was devastated, because that was the only thing in my life that was actually good.
Right.
And I went to the studio one last time, and I told them, like, listen, I can't come anymore. My sister has forbidden me. This is it for me, guys. It was really nice. And my mentor said, no, man, you want me to come talk to her? And I'm like, you would? No, my sister, my auntie, every woman in my family loved him. So I was like, yo, surely if him come and talk for me, my good.
Yeah.
My mouth good. So he said, yeah, man, of course, we'll come and talk to your sister. I'm like, oh, cool. So that evening, he brought me home, and he sat and he talked to my sister. And he took responsibility from me. As she said, she didn't think it was safe for a young girl my age to be out, which is it is a good concern, and I appreciate it.
Mm.
And he took responsibility, and she trusted him. And she gave me permission based on his taking responsibility. Shannon, when that man first of all, he never made an advance. He only spoke of me as his little sister. He never made an advance, never, not once. And I say that many times to reinforce the fact that there's no indication that there was any thought of that in his mind.
Yeah.
So he was moving house. At the time, I was fresh from the country. I don't know Kingston. I didn't know the geography of Kingston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is me just talking about how easily we accommodate rape culture in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So he was moving house, and I'm fresh from the country. I've never been a dunce. I wouldn't say I'm exactly naive, but I was ignorant of some ways of people. And like he'd done many times before, he offered me a ride home. So on the ride home, then he said he had to drop by his new place. Everybody knew he was moving. And he said he wanted to stop by his new place real quick and drop off something. Now, if I had known the geography of Kingston, I would have known something was wrong. Because my home was on the way to his new place. This is what I realized afterwards when I got to know Kingston well. So he said he wanted to drop it. And I was like, sure, why not? Why would I say no to you stopping along the way to drop off something at your place when this is your car and your right? What is this? Shandy. Oh, cool. Cheers. I have shandy.
I love shandy. I just all of my shandy off last week. Had to come get my because my phone was...
This is nice.
Go ahead.
This is nice. So he was going to stop by his place, right?
Uh-huh.
To drop off something. at his new place that he's setting up. And then he drives to the place, and he stopped outside of it. It's kind of like I've not been able to go back there to look. Because psychologically, I just couldn't handle it. But it's kind of like it looked like a cross between a townhouse and an apartment building. And he stopped outside of it on the curb. And I was sitting in the car, and he jumped out and he started to run toward the building. And then he stopped, and he looked like he was thinking, and then he came back and he said, "So you don't want to check out the place?" And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Yeah, man, come check out the place, and you can give me some pointers and tell me what you think and what we can do with the place and stuff like." Come in, man. And I was like, "Oh, cool." This made me feel valid because I really was his little sister. I was a part of his process, and he wanted my opinion on his place. And I was like, "Cool." I can't lie. I was impressed. I was affected because it felt like, yeah, this person actually saw me as an equal, as a part of his circle.
Yeah.
And I went. On the outside, at the landing in front of his door, there were some people. See, there's a balcony, a little railing. So some steps going all the way up the building, and on the landing in front of his door, there were some people. I can't tell how many people, maybe about four people. There was a woman there too. And I said, "Good afternoon," and we went in the door. When we went inside of the door, he locked the door. And that made me kind of pause a little bit. And I was like, "Well," but then I thought to myself, "Oh, Kingston, you know them still pure criminal."
Right.
Pure criminal. So he locked the door, and then he started to show me around. Girl, when we reach the bedroom, it's a full-on assault. Full assault. When I see this man speaking, and when I see Jamaica big him up sometimes and they act like he's such an upstanding citizen, oh, he's a Christian man, he's a nice guy, I go bonkers. Because you see, no matter what nobody tells me, I know my experience. I was there, he was there, he knows my experience. We know what happened. Child, I defend myself. I was about 95 pounds. It's a big diesel, man. Thick, so muscle, nobody fat. And when he start beat me decide, all right, you don't have to beat me. Me give up. Me a ball for help, you know. I scream for help, me ball for rape. People there outside the door. You see when me scream and ball for rape and me know you nobody answer. Me just stop. Because what me I do, wait until he kill me? Me I get real licks. So me stop fight. And that continued for hours. For hours. I was locked inside of his new place that he was moving into and just violated for hours. And when him done, him hold me and lead me to the bathroom, put me in a shower himself and bathe me. No evidence, no left. Me get a proper scrub. Proper scrub. Who me did I go report him to? Remember me come there voluntarily, you know? Remember me ball for help and me ball for rape and nobody not sign up. So who me da report him to and who was gonna be my witness? Remember this is a man who is adored by the 14 parishes and the diaspora. Who may I report him to? Me want upcoming artist. You hear what them say about the girl them are going near Big Bill Cosby? So who may I report him to? Me an idiot. Now let me tell you the dialogue I had going into that experience. My big sister was a senior teacher at Ocherous High School, and I used to live with her. And I used to hang around her and the other teachers. And one of her co-workers was the daughter of a judge, a magistrate. And I heard her say to the other woman, her daddy told her and her sister, if they got raped, do not go to the police, come to him. Because if they go through the system, they're going to be raped repeatedly by the system. That was the one dialogue I had in my head of reporting rape. I would never go to the police. Not with that in my head. And that was a judge. So I went home. With the conversation. Now listen, when he finished and he made me bathe, you know, and put me in one big t-shirt, his t-shirt, I had on a big old t-shirt. And I was just sitting in a corner, hug my knee and just a ball. My ball until no tears now come like me dry. And he asked if I wanted to go home and I said no, because me never want to leave out until night. Me never want nobody see me face. Like I felt dirty. I felt ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt like shit. And I knew that people were there when I went in. And I was hoping that they couldn't remember my face. And if I came out in the darkness, they wouldn't be there. And nobody would see me and I could just go home in anonymity. When I went home, I went to the shower again. And I showered. I have no evidence. I have nothing. Who may I go to? I'm poor. And I went voluntarily. This is why sometimes you see me fight, I argue with people. I'm a fight violent with people where speak out of their ass, because they don't know. They sit over there in judgment and they speak on these girls and they don't know. You don't know what I feel like. You know what I feel like when I go home? Remember now, I live with a judgmental sister. I come from a judgmental family. I come from a family where I should have got college, although them not have no money to pay for college. My family would have preferred that I went to college and indebted myself with a student loan than pursue my passion. And they made it very clear. Them tell me I turn cruff, me a worthless now. And some said iron balloon. I would never bust, so go get a real job. I couldn't go to them and tell them that I went to the studio and got raped. Could I? How would I broach that conversation with some people who already said that was what was waiting for me at the studio? So now I come back and say you did right. Which meant I couldn't go to the studio anymore. And the studio didn't do anything to me. One man did. Studio never do nothing to me at all. One monster did. And him do it repeatedly and people protect him.
Well, first, wait. Oh my God, I'm at a loss for words right now. First of all, I didn't even know that you went through something like this. Second of all, I know it was a long time ago and I know you're okay now, but I'm so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry that happened to you. And third, how the hell did you get through that?
I didn't.
Did you ever tell anybody?
I tried. But every time I brought it up, it just was never convenient to the people around me. People around me had much more important problems to deal with. Important problem like a co-worker who keeps talking shit about me and I'm not looking. Stuff like that. I had to sit and listen to complaints about petty, stupid shit all day, every day from other people. I wanted to talk about it. I could not. I simply could not. So, let me tell you, further than that, I ended up back in the country at my mother's house. And I was trying to break into music just to see him because I felt like, you know what, I'm not going to allow this to deter me. No more than ever I have a reason to do this. And so I was back in the country, and in the country there are less opportunities to sing. In the city, I could go to the studios and record. In the country, we never had no studio. So I was singing on sound systems. I went to dances, and I hope to get in via that route. And I was kind of like a local celebrity in St. Mary, the parish I'm from. When I started getting put on posters, I was like, yeah, all right, girl, come. Now, you know music is a male-dominated field. So the majority of the people I was hanging around was male. I started to date a guy I knew since I was a kid. I know him from as far back as I can remember. And I confided in him. He used to come to dances with me too, with a bunch of us. And I confided in him and I told him what happened. What had happened to me in Kingston. And he seemed to empathize. Apparently, not really. Because he set up a train. He set up a train. So the second time I experienced that was actually a train.
Oh my God.
Good people pick me do it, Upstanding. So let me tell you the irony of this train. It happened in a policeman's house. Son of a policeman. Yeah. You have no idea. This is nothing. This is Jamaica. Everybody knows this story. Not mine. They know theirs. You'd be surprised how many girls experience this.
I know.
How many boys did this?
I know.
How many parents allow this? When this happened, I was actually hanging out with this guy I was dating, who I confided in, who I felt comfortable with because I had known him all my life. This wasn't a stranger. I'd known him. I don't remember not knowing him. And the other guys, two of the other guys, I knew them from school. They went to other different schools. They went to a different school than mine. But we met up at like sport day events and stuff like that. I knew them. And I felt comfortable with them too. And they were my age. So I felt like, surely I'm safe. I wasn't. Not safe at all. And this happened hanging out with friends, just, doing what normal teenagers do. First time was 17, second time 19.
Oh my God.
So the second time when this happened, and people say, so why you never scream? Remember the first time I fought and I was beat up. Second time it was a few of them. One man beat me up. You think me I go fight few man? I not fight few man. All me I do, I just look on the one person who I trust the most and I say, why you do this to me? And I kept repeating that. Me can't believe, and he wouldn't look in my face. He just wouldn't look at me. And they did whatever they came to do. And that was it. Again, I couldn't leave until the night because this comes with an extremely large amount of just disgust. Like, it's not self-hatred, but it's like dirt. Just dirt. Like, I don't want nobody to see me like this because right now, I'm dirty. And again, I shower. And I left. When I left, it was night because I didn't want anybody to see me by day. So I left again in the night. And when I walked away from there, on my way to grab a bus to go home, I saw somebody I recognized. I have a sound system, so I know him because remember me singing on sound system. And he asked me where I was coming from. And I guess because it was just so new and I really didn't think of any kind of insulation for myself yet. I just opened my mouth and it just let out. And I told him everything. And him said, come, me bring you to the station. And I said, no. And him said, what do you mean you don't want to go to the station? And I said, no, because the house I was in belonged to a policeman. He was on duty. I was going to walk into the station and tell him, maybe he locked me up for breaking and entering his house. He never invited me there. Would I go report his son to him? Do I trust reporting his son to him? St. Mary's is a place where a young woman was stranded trying to get a drive, and she went to the police station to seek refuge, and the policeman raped her. You think me I go to a police station and go tell one policeman saying son just assault me in a house, in a female house? What may I do there? So I went home. The guy I was talking to gave me an advance notice because when I said I didn't want to go to the station, he said, oh, so you must have wanted then. So I just shut up. After that, I shut up. I said nothing. I went home and about 2 days after, I was at home. First of all, I went home and I was just showering. I just bathe. I couldn't stop bathe. Like, my bathe for days, I just intermittent. Every time I think about it hard, I go back to bathe again. And I was home. Everybody else was gone. And I was alone home. I'm hear a car horn at my gate. I'm go and look, and the boy them in a white car, I don't know kind of sedan. At my gate. I asked me if me alright. And I was so scared because I was home alone. I run back inside and lock up. Because I thought there was gonna be a repeat. I never have no escape route.
Yeah.
But luckily, they left. After that, I was home. I stayed home for months. I just couldn't come out. I never want to see nobody. I never want nobody to see me. Yeah. I don't think people understand the psychology of this. That when they speak, this is why I keep saying, do not talk. If you don't know, don't speak. It's okay to be silent. better to be silent than to cause more damage.
Wait, I have so many questions. So, did you tell your mom?
No.
So your mom never knew. And your mom didn't.
Not really.
Your mom didn't like suspect any weird behavior in you, like that you changed.
I don't know. She didn't say. But you have to understand too, you know. She came from a different time and she was brought up on different rules. She would come from a society where, let me tell you, every time I'd heard anything like that mentioned, the stigma was always placed on the victim. I remember one girl that everybody used to point at and say, see the girl that them rape. Our family had to move her. I don't know if she migrated and never saw her again. Never saw her again. There was another girl who got raped and then she started acting different and everybody say she mad out. And it's like, yo, boy, she just turned one piece of skittle bomb. Like, skittle wasn't a word then, but it's like she turned ore.
Yeah.
And it's the post-rape behavior that the lack of self-worth that comes from that violation. Because what it does is not physical. The biggest damage is not physical. Because at one point, you know how I used to treat myself? How I used to counsel myself to save me from the brink of madness? One of the boys, one of them Monday, from the train, had a micro penis. And that is what I used to cheer myself up. Like, well, technically, it's one less person because he technically wasn't a part of it because he really had no penis.
Oh my God.
It's just the kind of madness that he used to bring me back from madness. You know? And
God.
let me tell you something. Every single time I went on the road and somebody said something negative that made me feel like I was falling into a hole because after a while I had to go on the road.
Yeah.
It was always a women. I remember one time I went back to Portmore, which is where it happened. And I was walking on the street. And one girl was walking with another girl. I can still remember her face. I can't even remember the second girl's face, but I remember the first one. She pointed at me across. She was at that for those who know Portmore on the line. She did over the little harbour dash through the back of the clock. Side of Jane. Over the side I walk. And me there, I come off of the bridge. Come into the clock. And when I pass the gas station, I could hear her and she point. And say, see the girl there? And that girl there, them battery at Frontier. Loud. I remember like it's yesterday, I tell you, I can hear her voice and I can hear her face. A point. And she laughed. Remember, I do nothing, you know. All I did was hang out with my friends who I trust. This is the kind of narrative we're out there right now in our society and we accommodate it. You see, this is the reason why when they put all these them put all of them measures in place and I pretend to care about people with COVID. Me no bite.
Right.
Because rape is a bigger pandemic than COVID in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Way more people get raped than we get COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, see them and do nothing about it.
Yeah.
When me look and see rapists the side of them, me can point and say, him a rapist. You know how much rapist me know? Rape victims trust me and then tell me. I me believe them. Me can tell you, this is my superpower. Me can tell you when a girl a lie. And very, very, very seldomly, me ever get a feeling like a girl a lie. The language that they use and the body language that they have, the behavior changes. Me can identify the behavioral changes.
Right.
Me identify it because me identify with it. Me can pick up on it. Certain things that them say, me know that now come from a girl whenever I get raped. Because when I say to resonate within me,
Right.
me know when I true. Me know. That's why I know something because they're rapist. Me not ask Christ. Me not ask Christ. I tell you,
Listen.
I'll have to go listen to the victim them and some of them I tell lies. Some of them I tell lies for real. But you see, one of them when I talk the truth, girl, it resonate and it take my intestines and it twist them in some knots and it put me in my bed and I hug up my knee and in a fetal and I cry. Because me feel them pain. Me know that pain there. Me know the pain there. The only thing that brought me out of that pain. First of all, I've heard many people say, oh, so if him really rape her, why she go back there? Girl, me date one of my rapists. After rape. Shannon, me don't know how to explain it to you.
Was that a way that you justified it?
I did. The only thing we can explain it as the need for validation.
Right.
Because it broke me down so bad. I felt dirty. I just wanted to hear I was good. I wanted to hear that there was nothing wrong with me. The singer, what did violate me, you know? Me actually there on him for a while too. I went back near him. I wanted to hear him say it was a mistake, it was an accident, he was drunk. I wanted to hear something.
Yeah.
Me did just want to repair my belief in a people and my trust. I want to repair my belief in myself. I never trust my judgment and I want him to fix it. Because me did trust him. That never happened. When I realized it now to come, I stopped around him. Second set, where I'm a friend, I start date one of them. When you know when I broke it off, when he proposed.
What?
When I said, oh my God, this is crazy, this is madness now, this is gone far enough. At that time I broke it off. When he proposed. And this, when he proposed, this was when, let me tell you now. This is before I have my daughter. My daughter born at 21. My second time I get raped was 19 years old. It's a song that started playing on the radio. And I think say, it affected by the fact that now I start get noticed. So I have song I play on the radio and people start look at me like one artist and I push because the thing about me, you can't break me with one bad event. The easier you break me with comfort. Comfort to make me stay in my house and lie down and watch Netflix. A bad event will make me get up and prove to you and make a find a way to cut your throat. That's it. You can't beat me like that. You can't beat me by beating me.
So
You're a bit smarter than me.
wait, so oh my God. So is this an entertainer that is still singing and entertaining and is still
You might try, but he flop bad. You might try, but he flop. And every time I talk about him, I say it, because I know him on see it. And he need for know. Say me I see him as a flop guy, a flop. and people say, call his name. What me I call his name for? Me don't be the only person I call his name. Me not revive him.
You never told one person. Not one person knows who this man is.
People know him, people close to me, but they not talk.
Oh my God.
I have to warn everybody to secrecy. We're not about him back. Because me know people stay. People are morbid. And the moment I call his name is the moment he will start being promoted.
Right, you're right.
By these morbid fucking people out here.
You're right.
So me not call his name. If me call his name, man, me tap out my tongue and dash away. Not call his name.